Welcome to day 159 of 66 and 26. We're in Isaiah 40 to 42 today. There is a lot we could talk about in these three chapters. We could spend days studying the depths of these words, but I want to highlight just a few things today. I mentioned last time in Isaiah that there's a marked shift between Isaiah 39 and Isaiah 40. Roughly half, it's not exactly half by chapter, but roughly half of the book of Isaiah is chapters 1 to 39. And then starting at verse 40, we really see a difference in the tone and the mood of Isaiah. It's almost like taking out a pair of binoculars and looking 700 years into the future, and you're seeing expressions about the coming Messiah. So we see, "Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her hard service has been completed, that her sin has been paid for," which is what the Lord does in Jesus Christ. Verse 3, "A voice of one calling in the desert, prepare the way for the Lord, make straight in the wilderness a highway for our God," which is the words that come with John the Baptist in the beginning of the Gospels as John the Baptist prepares the way for Jesus, the Messiah. And then we are introduced also in these chapters to the servant of the Lord. Chapter 42 is the first of several what are known as servant songs. They're short passages within Isaiah that express the servant, and we understand that servant to be Jesus. "Here is my servant," God says, "whom I uphold, my chosen one, in whom I delight. I will put my spirit on him, and he will bring justice to the nations. He will not shout or cry out or raise his voice in the streets. A bruised reed he will not break. A smoldering wick he will not snuff out. In faithfulness he will bring forth justice. He will not falter or be discouraged till he establishes justice on the earth." This is looking toward the Messiah, Jesus, the servant of the Lord. "And he will be a light for the Gentiles," verse 6, "to open eyes that are blind, to free captives from prison, and to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness." The servant of the Lord comes to rescue God's people because the people have themselves been blind. They've fallen into idolatry, and in these chapters, the Lord is actually calling out Israel for those idols that they worship and saying that they are really nothing. They're not able to bring any kind of restoration. They're not able to bring any kind of rescue. And if you ask them what's going to happen in the future, they're silent. They can't say anything. And all this is going on in Isaiah chapter 42. And then, but those who trust in idols, who say to images, "You are our gods," will be turned back in utter shame. Then God says through Isaiah, "Hear you deaf, look you blind, and see. Who is blind but my servant, and deaf like the messenger I send?" And Israel, the nation of Israel, was supposed to be that servant for the rest of the world. And yet they have been blind just like the idols they worship are blind. They've been deaf just like the idols they worship are deaf and not able to see or hear anything, not able to speak. And so now a new servant has to come because the servant that God had chosen, Israel, has been unfaithful, and they have descended into idolatry. And so now a new servant arises, and we'll see in the chapters ahead that this is very descriptive of Jesus. We'll see in Isaiah 53 this servant who is crushed for our iniquities, and very, very clearly depicting Jesus and his ministry. 700 years before the ministry of Jesus, Isaiah is predicting this, and through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit as God speaks, Isaiah gives us a clear picture of the gospel hope that we have in Jesus.